चुनाव आयोग प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहा है। कर्नाटक चुनाव के सिलसिले में आइए आपको सीधे पीसी में लिए चलते हैं।
In the laws, Commission is required to hold general election to constitute new assembly before the expiry of its term, that is before 28th of May. The total number of assembly constituencies there are 224, out of which 36 are reserved for scheduled castes and 15 are reserved for scheduled tribes. As you know, every year we have summary revision of electoral rolls with reference to 1st of January. In Karnataka, this was carried out with reference to 1st January, and the final publication was done on 28th of February 2018. The number of electors in the draft roll were 4.90 crores. In the final rolls, 4.96 crores. To be exact, 4,96,82,357. Repeat. In the draft roll, 4.90 crores, and in the final roll, 4,96,82,357. As against 4,36,85,000 voters in 2013 election. Out of this, males 2,51,79,219, females 2,44,76,840. And you will be happy to note that elector population ratio in Karnataka is 72, which is very close to whatever is the ratio of population above 18 years to the total population, and even gender ratio is very close. Like census 2011 gender ratio is 973, and in electoral rolls it has come up to 972, so it is very close to the ground reality. As regards electoral rolls, we have photo electoral rolls almost 100%. To be exact, 99.47% are photo electoral rolls. Only a few photographs are not available. And electors' photo identity cards have also been issued to 97.46%. However, we also issue photo voter slips 7 days before the day of poll to all the voters, so that to facilitate them to come to polling station and vote. This can be used as even identity document. With the photo voter slip, a voter guide will also be given to each family. This will be in Kannada, and whomsoever wants in English will be in English. As regards polling station, in 2013, 52,034 polling stations were there, and now after this final publication and rationalization of polling stations, 56,696 polling stations are there, an increase of almost 9%. This year the theme of Election Commission is accessible elections, and therefore we have a special focus on affording convenient registration and voting to persons with disabilities. With that in view, assured minimum facilities at all polling stations have been reviewed by the Commission in their first visit to the state of Karnataka, and you will be happy to note that this aspect is being taken care of by the local administration on top priority. Then voter facilitation. For this, in order to fulfill the statutory requirements under Rule 31 of the Conduct of Elections Rule 1961, and to provide accurate and relevant information for voter awareness and information at each polling station, the Commission has also directed that uniform and standardized voter facilitation posters shall be displayed on all polling stations for greater facilitation. And voter assistance booth will also be set up at every polling station to augment the voter facilitation. Special arrangements are being made for women. In fact, all women managed polling stations, including the security, will be 5 in every urban constituency and 1 in every rural constituency. So in all, more than 450 polling stations will be managed by all women. As you all know, that Commission had committed to all parties that along with the electronic voting machines, VVPAT shall be deployed in all future elections, and therefore, in line with that decision, all polling stations will have electronic voting machine and VVPAT deployed there. As regards VVPAT counting, the same pilot phase, 1 randomly selected polling station, slips to be counted, will apply here. Then photographs of the candidates will also be available on the ballot, which will be affixed to the electronic voting machine, so that every voter can see. This information is very important for the voters, and the Commission would like that through you it reaches all the voters of Karnataka. Then electronically transmitted postal ballot, as notified in 2017, will be available to all service voters and all voters who are serving in Indian missions abroad. Final publication of service voter rolls has been done on 31st January in Karnataka, and continuous updation is on. Then affidavits. As you may be aware that according to judgment of 13th September by Supreme Court, 13th September 2013, it is obligatory for the returning officer to check whether the information required is fully furnished by the candidate at the time of filing of affidavit with the nomination paper, and it should have all the details of antecedents of all the cases, criminal cases where charges have been framed. Then additional affidavit for no dues. This is in pursuance of Delhi High Court's order in Krishak Bharat versus Union of India, that for Parliament and state legislature, an affidavit needs to be filed with no dues, so that it is clear that all the utilities, if government accommodation was occupied by the candidate, the no dues certificate is there. Then certain changes have been brought in forms and affidavit in Form 26, which are already there on the Commission's website and have been informed to all the CEOs to be brought to the notice of all the prospective candidates. Now, Model Code of Conduct. As you may be aware that from the day of announcement, immediately, Model Code of Conduct comes into effect immediately. From now onwards, all the provisions will apply to the whole of the state of Karnataka and will be applicable to all the candidates, political parties, the state government. The Model Code of Conduct shall also be applicable to the Union of India, Union government, in so far as announcements, policy decisions pertaining to the state of Karnataka are concerned. Commission has taken certain community people-friendly measures like preventing public nuisance. Commission have instructed that eco-friendly substances must be used for all kind of campaign propaganda material, like use of plastics, polythenes, flaxes. All those things should not be there, because these are not biodegradable and cause a lot of environmental hazards. Similarly, use of loudspeakers also is regulated to ensure that people can sleep in night, that it cannot be used between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. and also not in the vicinity of certain institutions, especially educational institutions and where people gather together for important deliberations, hospitals, etc. Law and order. This is very important because Karnataka elections have seen certain offences in the past elections, and therefore Commission has decided to deploy adequate central armed police force to maintain law and order, to have area domination, to ensure that people refrain from indulging in any kind of violence or any kind of breaking of law. It will be monitored on regular basis by the CEOs, by the DEOs in districts, and even Commission will be monitoring closely. Then protection of voters of weaker sections. Commission has given directions to all concerned that voters belonging to all weaker sections, especially scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, minorities, women, disabled, they should be provided full protection to ensure that they are facilitated to participate freely, fearlessly in the polling process. Karnataka is also expenditure sensitive state, and therefore election expenditure monitoring, SOP, instructions, guidelines, etc. have been issued in detail, which will be enforced. Flying squads will be there with GPS so that any complaint coming, it can easily be monitored that whatever spot is in the complaint, the flying squad is going in that direction, so that there is no delay in giving response. Standard operating procedure for seizure and release of cash to avoid any harassment for the normal activities, normal business and social activities is avoided. Whenever people are carrying cash with documents, that need not be seized. However, if documents are not there at that time, it will be seized. But if those documents are produced within time to the committee constituted for the purpose, it will be released forthwith. As you know, for candidates in Legislative Assembly, the ceiling on expenditure is 28 lakhs in Karnataka. There is, however, no ceiling on expenditure of political parties, as is the case for everywhere. The change which recently came in was expenditure incurred on candidate's booth near the polling station. That will be added to the expenditure of the candidate. So it will be accounted for in the ceiling amount. And this is because Commission is providing voter facilitation booth at every polling station. It needs to put up that booth, because parties were complaining that these booths set up and then slips are issued with party symbols, name of candidate and all those things. So to avoid that, Commission has put in place this system. Final accounts by candidates are supposed to be submitted within 30 days of declaration of result and within 75 days by the political parties on completion of the elections. Then media. Media has always been friend of Election Commission, and I would urge friends that it all depends on you, that anything going wrong, any aberrations being witnessed, anything which is not according to the model code or according to the laws, instructions, rules, regulations should be highlighted in public domain so that the enforcement agencies, DEOs, Commission can get to know and ensure that immediate effective action is taken. Paid news, media certification and monitoring committees are already in place. The training is going on, and most districts it may be completed. They will be ensuring monitoring of the media and cases of paid news in print as well as electronic media. Pre-certification of advertisement, these MCMC committees will be doing, as per the requirement of law, pre-certification of all advertisements in the electronic media. However, as regards print media, you may be aware that Commission has been taking this step in the last 48 hours before the conclusion of poll. So this time also we will be ensuring that that step is taken. Then systematic voters education and electoral participation program has been going on in Karnataka, and just before the polls it has been really stepped up, and a lot of good work has been done. In fact, cricketer Rahul Dravid is their state icon, and a lot of videos, a lot of appeals by him have been telecast, are being shown in social media to motivate young voters to come forward to register and vote. Partnerships have been nurtured with departments, PSUs, civil society organizations for maximum outreach of sweep initiatives and to ensure that participation goes up. Last election, the turnout of voters was around 71.45%, and efforts are on that this should increase. Training. Commission attaches utmost importance to training of poll officials, observers, micro-observers, polling officers, presiding officers, and also voters, political parties, especially on EVM and VVPAT awareness. A large-scale program is going on. I was reading newspapers from Karnataka, and I found every day, somewhere or the other, this exposure to EVM and VVPAT was going on for sensitizing the voters, for ensuring that the voters have first-hand experience of VVPAT. They also cast a vote and ensure that counting delivers the result as per their voting. Then Commission will deploy observers, general observers, as you all know, police observers, expenditure observers, and on sensitive polling stations, critical polling stations, wherever CAPF is not available, micro observers. And new IT applications, you may be aware, because these are quite routine ones. Samadhan for public grievance redressal system, then Suvidha for single window permission to candidates and political parties for holding public meetings, that within 24 hours you should give the permission, by having all the concerned officials at RO's office and delivering the permission within 24 hours. Sugam for vehicle management system, then webcasting and video CCTV coverage. That will also be there on the polling stations where other arrangements are inadequate. On the polling stations where other arrangements are inadequate.
The dates have already been announced as we are speaking.
Even the BJP media channel
We'll listen to you and then.
12th is the date of voting. 10 minutes before
it's coming from all over Karnataka. Karnataka media.
This is a tweet which is on 12th and counting is on 18th.
18. Just listen to me and then you will be clear about it.
It seems that the political parties already.
Sir, how come this is very serious?
No, it is very serious. उमेश पता करिए, इसे देख के देखिए क्या हुआ है, पता करवाइए। अभी मैं अनाउंस करता हूँ तो उसके बाद आपको पता लग जाएगा कितना सही है कितना नहीं है ना, ये पता लग जाएगा। Because people can have conjecture and you cannot stop conjectures, but certain things may have leaked for which election commission will take appropriate action. About conduct of election, officials, commission has always been saying that they must display absolute neutrality, impartiality, and discharge their duties without any fear or favor. Then poll day monitoring system, all electronic media monitoring and other monitoring of grievances, etc. will be conducted as was being done usually. Now, the schedule. The Commission, after considering all relevant aspects such as climate, academic and examination calendar, major festivals, prevailing law and order situation in the state, availability of central police force, time needed for their movement and induction, de-induction, transportation, and timely deployment of forces and in-depth assessment of other relevant ground realities while scheduling the polling. The Commission, after considering all relevant aspects, has decided to recommend to the Governor of the State of Karnataka to issue notification for the general elections under relevant provisions of the Representation of People Act 1951. The Commission seeks the active cooperation, close collaboration and constructive partnership of all the esteemed stakeholders, including political parties and media, in the electoral process, and strives to employ the General Assembly elections, employ the collective synergies towards delivering a smooth, free, fair, peaceful, participative and festive election in Karnataka. Now the dates. Date of issue of notification: 17th April 2018. Pardon? It is a single phase election because when Commission visited Karnataka, almost all the parties were of the view that it should be a single phase election, and therefore, keeping in view their demand, it is single phase election with notification on 17th April 2018. Last date of nominations 24th April 2018. Date of scrutiny of nominations 25th April 2018. Last date for withdrawal of candidatures is 27th April 2018. Now your issue comes. Date of poll is 12th May. Yeah. Date of counting is 15th May.
Oh, too bad. They got it.
They got it wrong.
Thank you very much, sir.
Right? So,
Will there be bypass also in Kerala and UP? There are two.
let us discuss Karnataka first and then. Yeah, please.
आशीष फ्रॉम इंडिया टीवी। सर ये प्लीज क्लियर कर दें कि पहली बार ऐसा हो रहा है कि चुनाव आयोग ने अभी तारीख का ऐलान नहीं किया और बीजेपी के मीडिया सेल के हेड अनाउंस कर रहे हैं। इस पे कोई स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन आप कह रहे लेंगे, क्या एक्शन लेंगे?
Definitely.
ऐसा कोई ट्रेंड ना बन जाए।
चैनल को कोट कर रहे हैं।
Definitely, it will be investigated, and when investigation delivers certain facts, its responsibility and whatever action legally and administratively befitting to the occasion will be taken. Please rest assured.
सर इसको हिंदी में बता दिया। ऐसा पहली बार हुआ है कि इलेक्शन कमीशन की औपचारिक ऐलान से पहले ही बाकायदा ट्वीट करके पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का
इस पर कानून के अनुसार प्रशासनिक दृष्टि से कठोरतम कार्रवाई करने में कमीशन बिल्कुल हिचकेगा नहीं। इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बाद जो भी फैक्ट्स आते हैं, जो भी जिम्मेदारी तय होती है, उसके आधार पर।
Sir, now that you are board of mandated staff, now my question is, if any related to other states, central government can announce, because the Kaveri Management Board still pending, the court is given the 3 weeks time, so it's going to end on the 31st. So it can be government of India can announce the Kaveri Management. It will come under the election commission mode of conduct.
Whatever is the direction or order of the Honorable Court and compliance thereof, Commission and the MCC doesn't come in the way.
Sir, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Kerala.
Okay, Neeraj.
ये है कि ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चुनाव है कांग्रेस और भारतीय जनता पार्टी और जेडीएस के लिए, और आमतौर से विपक्ष जो है आप लोग से ईवीएम पे क्वेश्चन करते रहा है। आप लोगों ने एक पायलट प्रोजेक्ट के तौर पे एक विधानसभा की क्या ये बेहतर नहीं होता कि इसी चुनाव में खासकर आप लोग 5% या 10% वीवीपैट की पर्चियों की गिनती कराते तो विपक्ष का विश्वास और बढ़ता।
आपने अच्छा सवाल पूछा है। कमीशन ने भी विचार किया इस मुद्दे पर, लेकिन जिस तरह का अभी तक का अनुभव आया है और जिस तरह के अभी तक रिजल्ट्स भी मिले हैं, उससे कमीशन को ये लगा कि एक बड़े स्टेट में एक और ये पायलट फेज जारी रखें, उसके बाद इस पर कॉल लेंगे।
सर सोशल मीडिया काफी एक्टिव है, इस वजह से वहाँ पर काफी ऐसे मैसेजेस भेजे जाते हैं जो पॉलिटिकल बायस होते हैं। उनकी रोकथाम के लिए क्या कोई टीम तैयार की गई है या फिर बायस ना हो इसलिए कोई ऐसा कार्रवाई करने की बात?
कमीशन इस बारे में बिल्कुल जागरूक है। कमीशन ने सोशल मीडिया पॉलिसी भी फॉर्मुलेट की है। कमीशन ने सोशल मीडिया हब भी स्थापित किया है कमीशन में, और ये लोग पूरी तरह से जागरूकता से सोशल मीडिया के बारे में क्या क्या इंटरवेंशन होना चाहिए, कैसा करना चाहिए, किस तरह से हम अपने इलेक्शंस को इस तरह के एडवर्स इफेक्ट से बचा सकते हैं, वो सब कर रहे हैं। लेकिन इसके साथ साथ कमीशन आपके थ्रू कर्नाटक के जो हमारे आईटी कैपिटल मानी जाती है, वहाँ के सारे आईटी प्रोफेशनल्स और उन सबसे अपील भी करना चाहेगी कि वॉट एवर इज विद इन देयर रीच to safeguard that Karnataka elections are totally immune to any such adverse effect of malicious, divisive or targeted campaign through social media connected with any harvesting of data or anything. If they can take care of it, it will be a great service to strengthen democracy in India, not even in India but even globally, because there have been talks that this has happened in some developed countries' elections also.
सर रिसेंटली आपको बेंगलुरु कैसे तब अनाउंस किए थे अप्रैल 15 को कर्नाटका का इलेक्शन को अनाउंस करने जा रहे हैं, क्या ये रिपोर्ट हुआ?
Actually, this is a misjudgment by the honorable correspondent. I had said that Commission announces the election schedule keeping in mind the academic examination schedules, because we would not like to come in the way of students, because it is their future which is at stake. When he asked when the exams will be over, I said 10th or 11th. I didn't know exactly, but now I can say that 8th April even IIT JEE will be over there. It will be only evaluation which will be conducted. Keeping that in view, it was a conjecture that it will be announced after 11th, so any date could be announced. Okay.
मेरा सवाल ये है कि आमतौर पर धर्म का इस्तेमाल करने की बात को चुनाव आयोग इजाजत नहीं देता है चुनाव में। कर्नाटक में लिंगायत को धर्म की मान्यता देने की बात कर रही है, क्या इस पर चुनाव आयोग रोक लगाएगा कि इसका इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा नहीं किया जाएगा इलेक्शन के दौरान?
अभी मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट लागू हुआ है। अभी किसी भी तरह की कोई भी कंप्लेंट ऐसी आने पर इलेक्शन कमीशन उस पर विचार करेगा, परीक्षण करेगा और उस पर जो भी उचित होगा वो कार्रवाई करेगा। साइमल्टेनियस इलेक्शन पर कमीशन से जानकारी ली गई थी, राय ली गई थी, वो 2015 में कमीशन ने उपलब्ध करा दी थी कि इस तरह के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट, इस तरह के लीगल अमेंडमेंट्स ये जरूरी हैं। अगर वो सब हो जाते हैं तो लॉजिस्टिक रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ मशीन्स, ऑफ पोल पर्सनल, ऑफ CAPF वो पूरे होने पर कमीशन साइमल्टेनियस इलेक्शन कराने के लिए सक्षम होगा। लेकिन उसके बाद से कोई ऐसे अमेंडमेंट्स अभी तक हुए नहीं हैं, इसीलिए जितने भी इलेक्शन अभी हो रहे हैं सब अपने टाइम से जो भी करंट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एंड लीगल फ्रेमवर्क है उसके अनुसार हो रहे हैं।
You talk about investigation and strictest possible action, but may I ask what strictest possible action that EC is going to take?
Actually, you can't put the cart before the horse unless the facts are known, unless the culpability, the intention, criminality is known. How can you decide what action will be taken? So let the facts come on investigation, whatever it deserves. will be strictly dealt with.
सर ये डेट अगर पहले से पता हो, एकदम से आगे उसके पहले तो आपकी डेट जो है इसका मतलब वो उससे बिल्कुल मैच कर रही है 2 दिन डेट। इस डेट को आप चेंज करेंगे एक्शन में क्यों नहीं, क्योंकि उनको तो बहुत पहले से पता है कि डेट जिस दिन चुनाव होना और इस दिन काउंटिंग होनी। तो आपकी पूरी
नहीं, कहाँ मिला काउंटिंग का? अब तो कह रहे थे काउंटिंग दिन
अगर हमसे कोई पहले से पता है तो आपकी
ये गलत है, क्योंकि पहले तो ये तय ही नहीं था। इसलिए अभी हमें फैक्ट्स आने दीजिए, इन्वेस्टिगेशन होने दीजिए, उसके बाद ही कुछ तय हो पाएगा कि क्या किया जाना चाहिए, क्या नहीं किया जाना चाहिए।
चेंज भी हो सकती है।
वन कैन कमेंट ऑन दैट।
सर मेरा सवाल एक क्लैरिटी के लिए है, सोशल मीडिया को लेकर कर्नाटका चुनाव में क्योंकि इतना बवाल मचा हुआ है, इसमें मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि कर्नाटका चुनाव में क्या इलेक्शन कमीशन का कोलैबोरेशन रहेगा सोशल मीडिया वेबसाइट के साथ कर्नाटका चुनाव?
किसी भी तरह की कोई भी एबरेशन वाली एक्टिविटी होने से मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग हम रोक नहीं देते हैं। आप देखिए ना, कई बार बैंक से फ्रॉड हो जाते हैं, कई बार और चीज़ों में हो जाते हैं, लेकिन उससे क्या नेट बैंकिंग या ये सब हम बंद कर देते हैं? ऐसा नहीं होता। सोशल मीडिया इज नाउ ए रियलिटी एंड लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर involved in it. They are getting information. All those things are happening. So with all precautions at our command to prevent any adverse effect on our elections, electorate or their judgment. Yeah.
So Facebook remains your social media partner?
It is. We have a Facebook page and we are handling with that.
सर इसी से जुड़ा हुआ एक सवाल है बालकृष्ण वास्तव से। आपने कहा कि सोशल मीडिया पर जो मैसेजेस आते हैं उसकी तो मॉनिटरिंग आप ऑलरेडी करते हैं, लेकिन सवाल ये है कि रिसेंट टाइम में कुछ इस तरह के आरोप आए हैं कि पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के ऐप जो है वो यूजर्स के डेटा चुरा रहे हैं और उसका इस्तेमाल वोटर्स को टारगेट करने में कर रहे हैं। क्या आप अपनी जो जांच का दायरा में इसको भी शामिल करेंगे कि पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज लोगों के डेटा चुरा करके हार्वेस्टिंग करके उसका इस्तेमाल न करें?
देखिए, कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी जब धीरे धीरे इवॉल्व होती है, इस तरह की चीज़ें सामने आती हैं, तो उनके उपाय भी हम लोग सोचते हैं और उनको करते हैं, जिससे कि जो गलत हो रहा है उसमें वो ना हो सके। बाकी जो उसकी पोटेंशियलिटीज़ हैं, जो यूटिलिटीज़ हैं, वो भी हार्नेस होती रहें।
सर,